All right, and finally we have the Europa Conference League semifinals set, ready to go, with Fiorentina facing off against Basel, and then West Ham facing off against AZ Alkmaar. AZ had a crazy comeback against Anderlecht, being down 2-0, coming back, pushing it to penalties, and then Australia's finest, Matt Ryan, helping them get the result. Right. West Ham defeated Ghent at home in the second leg, defeating them 4-1 finally after a really close first leg tie. And then on the other side, Fiorentina, as we spoke about, had an insane game against Lech Poznan at home, where they came back, but ultimately Fiorentina was able to see it out and get the result 6-4 on aggregate. 10 goals in this tie, man. Pretty crazy. And then likewise, on the other side, 7 goals in total, with Basel beating Nice 4-3. Another crazy matchup. This tournament has just had such a crazy, chaotic nature to it. And I think that's going to continue in these semifinals, with Fiorentina facing off against Basel. And hey, man, imagine a team like Basel making it to the fucking final of a Europa Conference League. To me, that's what this tournament represents. Giving a teams of that level the opportunity to get European silverware. Something that could have never happened, even at the Europa League level, man.
Watching the Europa League Conference this year in detail has really made me wish football is more of like a sitcom that you could go back to and just watch an episode.
For sure.
Because I cannot recommend everybody enough to go back and watch the Lech Poznan against Fiorentina tie. I'm talking about both
episode.
Games. It was an incredible episode. Go back and watch Fiorentina Lech Poznan episode, because oh my God. And I'm talking about all the way back to the first minute of the first leg. And it's crazy because the first game was 4-1 to Fiorentina.
Yeah.
You look at it on the surface value, even if you just look at the highlights, you would not get what actually happened in the game. The game itself was incredible. Nico Gonzalez, Argentine player who actually won the World Cup. He was part of that squad, didn't really play, but he was there. As you already said, Argentines all around the world feeling themselves. Sure. Gonzalez is one of them. Starts off that game hot, but Poznan respond Belde with a banger of a goal, 1-1. But then the rest of the game was a masterclass on how to manage the game from Fiorentina, because they let Poznan just go at them. They absorbed all of that pressure and they tired out Poznan. They tired them out. And then come the second half, 3 unanswered goals to win the game in Poland 4-1. But that first half, you would not have guessed that that would have been the end result. Then you go to Italy. It's a 3-goal differential. And how do Poznan start the fucking game on the road? Electric. They go at him. They go completely at the Florentines. I don't know how you say it. But it was an incredible start to the game. They get an early goal, and immediately you get a taste of hope that, hey, maybe Poznan can pull this off. I'm not saying they will, but maybe they can. 60 minutes later, it is tied on aggregate. And you go through that adventure, and you would have seen why it came to be, because Poznan played an incredible match, man. An incredible match. Rebocho, Joel Pereira on either side, 2 Portuguese fullbacks, so involved offensively. But then you have, whether it's Sobiek or Ishak, 2 big men, traditional number 9s up top, waiting for service. But then you have another Portuguese player, Afonso Sosa, just trying to facilitate as much as he can. And then you have Skorash, a random, like, wide midfielder who gets oddly creative at times. His efficiency rate, low. But his ability on the ball and just to see what he could possibly do, so fun to watch. So there's so many X factors that this Poznan side have, and it all came to fruition in this game that they needed it to. And we are tied 4-4 on aggregate with like 15 minutes left. But then we see the class of Fiorentina, where they do not panic. They absorb more pressure. And then we get a beautiful volley rebound goal from Sotil. And at that point, that was the dagger. Because as if you're Poznan, bro, you score 3 goals in a row. 3 goals in a row. What more can you do on the road? And at that point, I knew, I was like, that's the dagger. But what an episode, if you will. And I just wish football was more like a trace backable, where you could just easily go back like you're watching an episode of The Office. Like you just could. Because like so many people will never see this tie. And I understand. It's the Conference League. I get it. But what an affair it was. I was so entertained for the entire 180 minutes. What a game. But Fiorentina at the end of the day, even though it got a little hairy, completely deserved it. And that's just a taste of the conference. You already said it. Nice-Basel was a crazy like 4-3 goal fest. West Ham had crazy goals in the second leg, even though the first leg was pretty tight. And actually, the first half of that second leg, Ghent kind of went at West Ham. They tried. They went for it. There's so many moments in this Conference League quarterfinals, man, where I'm just like, dude, this is what football is all about, man.
It's been so fun.
It's been so entertaining.
And then your boys.
And then my boys, Alkmaar, baby. Alkmaar. Weird first leg where Anderlecht, at home in Belgium, pretty much dominated them, bro. Alkmaar tried, but overall, Anderlecht had the better game plan, and they shut out Alkmaar's offense. And why I would have them beating Anderlecht in the first place, but they completely shut them out. And they ended up getting 2 really good goals and having a big lead going into the Netherlands for the second leg. But of course, what I had predicted in the first place, Alkmaar would not let up, especially at home. And they ended up putting on a perfect offensive performance. Honestly, should have won the game in regulation. Yeah. They had way more chances, and they were a little wasteful, I'll be a little honest. But the chance creation was so high. Should have put it home. Should have won the game like 3, maybe even 4-2 on aggregate. And they're going to penalties because they lose a little bit of energy. But still, they ended up getting the job done. I do think they were the better team overall. But still, the fact that Anderlecht made it so interesting in that first leg to have a crazy comeback second leg, that's Conference League, baby. I'm having so much fun with this league, bro. I'm having so much fun. And so at the end of the day, yeah, we're left with these.
Sponsored by them, bro. What the hell's going on, man?
I know.
I mean, it's nice. I like it too, but
I'm telling you, man. I low key, it's to the point where. Look, I love that. Low key, it's to the point where like I if I was given a deal like Champions League or Conference League, I'd easily take the Conference League if I was getting paid.
Yeah.
But dude, what a quarterfinal matchups overall.
We have Fiorentina Basel, and then we have AZ Alkmaar against West Ham.
Right.
And I haven't revealed my selection for any. Neither have you. So
right. So I'm gonna go. I'm
set the stage.
I'm gonna immediate. So stage is already set.
Quick
I'm
fire.
immediately go in.
Quick fire. Okay, let's go in.
So I already said. I think in our last Europa Conference League prediction, I had AZ against Fiorentina in the final. And that is exactly how I see it now. Alkmaar will defeat West Ham, and Fiorentina will beat Basel, and we will get an Italian-Dutch Europa League conference final.
Okay. And based off of the last prediction as well, I had Fiorentina West Ham in the final. Mm-hmm. So I'm sticking to that. And based off of my agenda, which is that I believe no Italian team will lift a European competition trophy this season, right, I have West Ham winning it. And that's what I revealed at first in last prediction. And I will stick by that now. I still think West Ham just finds a way to edge it out and be able to get a result here. I have West Ham winning this tournament. But real quick, should we, just so we can acknowledge them, maybe they're just the little underdog in the corner, should we mention Basel here, bro?
I wanted to. Just a little bit.
Just a little?
Simply because Basel have so impressed me.
They got Mo Salah.
They had. They've so impressed me with their ability to just stay in the game. Yeah. Both times in both legs against Nice, and actually in their previous matchup too, in the round of 16, they've started every game to where it looks like, oh, Basel's not going to win this. But they just manage the pressure. They absorb everything that's thrown at them, and they're very, very organized. That is one thing I'll give Basel. Their organization at the back is very, very disciplined. And what it does is it allows their offensive line to just kind of work the game slowly, though. There is no flair, no creativity, no one-on-one chances with this Basel team going forward. But as a collective squad, they slowly manage the 90 minutes. And it has really impressed me because usually, when you see a team like this, where it's solid overall, they cave. Whether it's by the 60th, 70th minute, they'll absorb the pressure, but it'll be too much. Yeah. And then they'll eventually lose the game. But Basel will absorb the same amount of pressure, but then actually get slightly more confident because they're like, oh, we're fine. We're handling this. Yeah, maybe we're down 1-0, but that's it. It's a 1-goal margin. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're not going to stop nothing. We're going to keep utilizing our wingers. Amdouni's had a really good campaign so far. Liam Miller, Canadian, also getting a really good performance against Nice in this last game. And they're just going to keep utilizing that width and keep using that good organization. And it ends up leading to like good results for Basel. That's the thing, though. I think that's where it's going to stop. Because at the end of the day, I do think you need just a little bit of flair, a little bit of creativity. And I think they are missing that at the end of the day. Whether they play Fiorentina, I think it's very hard. If they somehow manage to beat them, I think they'll have an even harder task against either West Ham or Alkmaar. So for them to lift the trophy, I think it's just a little too far-fetched.
I don't know, man. I think they're going to be a tight contest for Fiorentina, man. I think they're going to be tight. They've scored 4 goals in both of their last 2 matchups in this tournament, which is crazy. I mean, this is the best Basel team they've had in years.
Low key, though.
They're on like a magical run, honestly, for them specifically. So I love it. There's good stories here. Our picks have been made. You're going AZ Alkmaar wins the tournament against Fiorentina, and I'm going West Ham wins the tournament against Fiorentina.